air.
Things we'll have soon.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? This is the All or Nothing Show. We're back again. It's Monday, and we got the boys on deck. Griffin, Brock, and myself. My name is Austin. Already introduced them. Felt like I was going to do it again. And today, we are going to try and get this brain right with some C4 Super Brain.
We haven't done a C4 yet.
Cognizing.
Yeah,
200 milligrams caffeine.
Let me let everybody know how much fucking hate I've gotten from y'all. Well, this one, not Griffin. Griffin's grateful.
Nope.
This one over here, he's that brat.
Nope.
Spoiled. But
It's
anyways,
just, there's so many. What other options were there at Vitamin Show?
Jocko, C4.
Oh, God.
Well, we've tried not all the Rays. There only had 3 flavors of Rays that we've all
What
tried.
flavors?
The American flag one,
Okay.
Liberty or whatever. The one we just had, Strawberry Colada, and then the green. We've had the
Oh,
green.
damn it. Yeah, we have had
So
this.
they only had 3 in stock, which I don't know. I guess like all energy drinks are down except Bang. Bang was cranking, but I've had all Bang. Once you've had a Bang,
At some point, we'll have to review them on the show.
But
Yeah,
you know,
because I haven't really had all of them.
and you know what? I should have picked up, and I've never tried any of these. The Bang Ketos,
No, I've had
Keto Bangs, which
Those are the
Keto.
coffee.
How
Those
are they
coffee.
keto? Aren't energy drinks like no calories anyway?
So I mean, technically they are keto.
I think those are coffee, though.
Are they? Do they
It's
have
like
fats in them?
Well, if we're reviewing coffee,
Well, we
I'll have
could.
a good opinion on that.
God dang
That'll
it!
be my week where I just go for water.
Well, this flavor right here, before we crack into it, is where is it at? Peach Mango Nectar.
Smells good.
Yeah.
Went down the wrong pipe.
Hands up. Did you ever grow up, like, when they said you started coughing, you're supposed to put your hands over your head
No,
and,
I
like,
never
pat your
heard
back?
that.
That's serious. Like, if you went underwater and start, like, as a kid, they would always, like, raise your hands up, and they smack the shit out of your back.
This tastes like, have you ever had, I don't know what brand I'm thinking of, but like a peach ring, sour gummy type of pre-workout?
Yeah, that's what
I think I might be thinking of the Alani Nu
Mike.
peach rings. You know what I'm talking about?
It does taste like that.
But it's not really sour, though. It's definitely
No,
sweet.
this isn't
What
sour.
the Alani one is.
But the Alani one is like, yeah, it's like
Definitely
sour,
a
like
good
peach.
mango taste.
Um,
Very juicy.
Let me hit on while y'all are still sipping. I guess some other factors about this. Ingredients that I guess are just trademarked, and they're probably the same as everything else. NOVT, which is, I guess, from green tea leaves, which I'm sure is like green tea extract. Yeah, so it's natural caffeine. So it's like their trademarked version of caffeine.
Break the rules. Change the game. Outsmart
Cognizant.
the competition.
Did C4 sell? Did Cellucor sell it? Because see down here it says C4 and Super Brain Performance Fuel, trademarks of and distributed by Nutrabolt.
They might just have like
Cellucor.com.
probably like a holding
Nutrabolt
company.
must be the parent company.
Yeah,
of
like a holding
Cellucor.
company or something.
Yeah.
But only 200 mg of caffeine. I thought it was more than that, which I guess is okay for now. Because I'll probably have another one later on.
You got the cotton candy, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a solo review. But what are we thinking, fellas? Let me get one more sip.
6.3. It's enough to enjoy, but it's not anything I'm going to be thinking about later.
I would say probably 6.5 or so. Because we didn't do a review last week.
No, we didn't. But that's not going to affect my number today. Because I'm consistent. I'm going a little higher, y'all. I think I want like a 7.2.
Nice.
I like it. I really like it.
It is a good level of carbonation, I feel like, for the flavor.
Typically, sometimes when a drink tries to go sweet on you, it goes like very syrupy. And this isn't very like...
That's true. I will say
Syrupy.
it's not too
I
syrupy.
tried their like American flag flavor the other day, and like you said, it wasn't very syrupy. And this one doesn't really have that consistency and feeling.
It's because they use nectar.
Yeah, give you that neck.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. But what are y'all been up to today, fellas?
It's been an interesting
Give
week.
us, tell
Yeah,
me,
we'll give
tell me.
it, like,
Okay,
a
come
I'll
on.
give you all the rundown.
Give it.
So, some good things, some bad things. So this past week, I made my LLC for training to just go fully independent.
What's your
And
LLC called?
Just Griffin Kelly Personal Training.
Nice.
Nothing that exciting. But Brock helped me out with that. I kept just texting him like these boomer pictures of my computer screen. Like, which one do I click?
But to be fair, it's confusing because like one of the questions,
It's a
I'll pull it up.
website.
Yeah, I'll pull it up while you're explaining.
Right, so
but
did Brock collect a fee for helping
I
you?
should've.
A professional fee?
It's another energy drink on the tab all over.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was so I did that just to go fully independent. Good feeling. And also in regards to a lot of that, it's been good as far as just freelance stuff. Been bringing in a lot of projects lately, new clients for training, like new video people, another wedding, other things like that. So things have been going in a good direction, and I'm happy about that. So this weekend I was supposed to shoot a wedding on Saturday that I've been planning for probably almost a year, I would say. And on Friday, my car does not start, and right before I'm about to go to my afternoon client. So I have to cancel those. Brock gave me a lift over to get some jumper cables.
So we
I jumped my car. I went to Advanced Auto to see if I needed to just swap out the battery because it's been like 3 years since I got a new battery. And so we go in there and they say the battery's fine, the starter's fine, and it might be something else. So I make an appointment at the mechanic, but the earliest they have is tomorrow morning. And so I didn't really know what to do because I like can't really chance it. I was able to get home, but it's also something that I'm not sure if I can start it again or not.
Here's the thing too: is you took it to the auto parts store and they said that it wasn't the battery, which I don't buy because it's like it wasn't working until it got a start.
That's what I was curious about.
And
but
then,
he tested it, so.
But the alternator might have juiced it up enough, charged it enough on the drive over there to like show like a decent like.
Well, he hasn't had it changed in 3 years, which don't you normally change?
Oh,
in
yeah.
Three-ish years.
Yeah. So that's what I was kind of curious about. So I had a second shooter for the wedding. He wound up picking me up and taking me there. And then yesterday, I was doing another shoot too. And so thankfully my car did start to get there. And I thankfully ran into Austin just in case it didn't start to get back home. But it did start, thankfully. And then this morning, I just didn't want to chance it because I had to do another shoot before I trained my morning clients. So I was like, I'm just going to ride my bike. And I had gotten my bike completely tuned up like 4 months ago. Replaced the chain, replaced the gear shifts, stuff like that. And as soon as I start riding, I'm like, both my tires are flat. And so I was like, at least I know up the hill there's Cary Street Gym. And they have a pump outside. I drive past it a lot and I always see it where people have the bike rack. So I'm riding up the hill. It is
one
a
flat
bitch
tires.
to get up. I'm in the lowest gear, just like going up as fast as I can. I get to the pump is broken. And so then I just ride to the place I'm supposed to shoot. They reschedule. And so then I just ride over to where my sessions are. And I finally get in and do that. And I ride to his apartment because he gave me a lift over here. But on the way over, I stopped by a gas station and just paid to pump up the tires. And at least I'll do that to get home. But it's like, it's almost like if you ever get a paper cut, you never notice how often you come into contact with things until you notice the pain and that sensation. And it's almost like now that I'm not able to drive, you never think of how often you really like take that for granted sometimes. Like even the grocery store or other things like
when
that.
I had to get my computer replaced with like all the little things that, your phone can do a lot, but when you actually want to sit down and, actually get some work done or answer an email, it's like your little thumbs don't do it.
Yeah.
Hell no.
And
so
also,
inefficient.
it's like there's, it's not like a free trade almost in terms of like, even without my car, the substitutions are almost like I'm taking up someone else's time, or it's a lot more extra of my time and effort to ride, or it's going to be very expensive to catch an Uber too. And so it's like, there's not really like a trade-off that's like a good substitute, I feel like, without having like an actual car to be able to ride. So it is something I appreciate now.
I want to reference back, we were talking about the LLC. I want to read this thing. So one of the options that he could have selected was member or manager of a limited liability company that is a member or manager of the limited liability company.
And this is for your
What kind of question is that?
This is
Or-
for your.
or-
It's like your agent or something. Agent of something. I
Yeah,
forget.
this
the thing
but,
that you
but,
can be.
Yeah, but point is, he was just a member of the LLC or the manager because it's just him.
You'd be acting as like the the representative of the.
But
LLC.
it's just funny though the way they word those things, and there's so many options, and then it is confusing. When I first did mine, like he asked me, like, "Am I the registering agent?" It's like yes, but it's just like to call yourself that. It's I don't know.
So I believe once you get it set up, then you can go under the articles of the LLC and create like vice president, CEO, president, CMO, CFO, stuff like that. But because right now I'm the registered agent on mine. The guy. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Are you the guy?
Are you the guy? Yeah, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
But damn, dude. Well, look at it this way. Is it glass half full or glass half empty? Glass half full. No, glass half. What is
Glass half full is a good one.
Good. So glass half full. Getting summer shredding, man.
I know, and that's the other thing too. Is like
miles.
Even though things have not worked out,
I'm running.
it's some other things have like popped up in a good way to where it's like, even though some bad things have happened, it hasn't been like a loss because other good things have happened out of the blue that have kind of canceled that out. And I'm sure you had the same thing with your computer
for sure.
too.
Yeah, I had the same thing with my computer. The past like 2 or 3 months, I've had like a random $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 expense, but then I'll like make it back, in some way.
But still.
But I'll tell you what though. Yeah, I know. And then you're like, well, what if I didn't have that expense? And like Maddie was like, well, it's good that you got that check, and I'm like, yeah, but it'd be better if I just didn't have to use all that money towards that. Yeah. But I one thing I've noticed the past few months I've been close with Griffin is like he has like the most awful luck. But then other times, But then other times he'll have the most crazy good luck. When one of his clients, I think it was like an older woman, because the COVID stuff gave him like $2,000, and it's like out of nowhere, and it's like. So as much as
what are you doing with that client, bro?
Yeah, he says,
a little wine, a little dime.
Yeah, come here, Granny.
Yeah. Got some fresh meat for you.
Yeah. But point is though, it's like
shit.
He'll have the most crazy bad luck, and so you'll hear that, and you're like, man, I feel bad for Griffin. But don't forget when he gets the crazy good luck too, because it almost evens out. Or I couldn't see because I don't know everything that goes on, but it's funny though how that works.
It's worth to keep you around.
It's a lot of far valleys, but then high mountains,
high
too.
peaks.
Yeah,
High
it's
peaks.
the rhythm of life. So
Most people are here. He's like,
that's why I'm I don't do drugs because I feel like some of these things I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not like a drinker because I feel like for some of these things I'd be like,
oh dude,
here goes another C4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
damn,
it's an interesting, but you gotta laugh at it because otherwise you just gotta punch drywall and scream.
My day's been good.
So
it was just legs this morning. I squatted. I was telling Griffin the funny thing is, I know we saw each other in the gym today, but this was a rare time where we kind of like didn't acknowledge or even like speak at all this time. Did you notice me, or did you not even see me? You had.
I noticed you on the turf, obviously, when you were there, but I didn't see you anywhere else.
Oh man, you had the blinders on. I think I could just, and that's why I left you alone.
It was early as shit.
Is I could tell you were like really focused on what you're doing. So I was like, well, I'll just leave him to it. Because normally we'll lock eyes, say something brief. But, you just seemed like you're really locked in. It's probably because you were tired.
I wasn't
from
pissed
5 a.m.
No, I knew you weren't pissed.
No,
I figured you were just tired.
No, it's like zombie mode. Like, I was focused on my client, and that was about it. That's all I could do.
That's why I didn't say anything. But I had a good leg there. I actually got it done in an hour, a little bit under. Which,
sounds like my kind of shit.
When it's just me in there, I do get it done relatively quickly. But good squat sets. Did 295 sets of 3. Which my thing with 295 recently is it's hard because I went in doing that today knowing I wanted it to be like an RP 7 or 8, so it wasn't too difficult. However, I know that literally about a month ago I did 295 for sets of 6. So kind of in your mind you're like, am I being a little bitch or am I getting weaker? But then kind of like you're playing it the right way. You're not going balls to the wall. But anyway, did that. Did some Jeffersons. Like always, leg extension, leg curl, and then somebody else.
When are we going to get some RPEs with those Jeffersons, my man?
You want me to put some weight on there?
I mean, maybe a 10. I don't know.
I think I'll put some 5s. I was going to today. Bro, okay, until you do them.
Okay,
until you do them.
I won't talk anymore.
Until
I don't do
you
them.
do
I don't
them.
do them. They blow my head.
Until you have a child.
Yeah, get out of here. Okay, but I think I'll do some 5s.
Okay.
But the problem I didn't do them today is because the stupid escape your limit plates are like hexagons.
Yeah.
Did you find good clips?
You know that's always a challenge. But yeah, that was the workout today. Did a few videos when I got home, watched Dobie and all that jazz. Our sofa finally came in.
I saw that.
3 freaking months. We finally got the sofa.
How much did y'all pay for that?
I think it was like about like $600 or $550, and then we paid like an extra $100, $150 for like a 3-5 year
Expedited
warranty.
shipping?
No, for like no, we paid for delivery though. Yeah. We did get delivery, but yeah, so we paid for delivery, and then we also paid for like the extra warranty was like $50 or $100, and it would cover like stains and with Dobie and everything. We're like, let's just go for it.
Oh yeah.
So I think all in all, it was like $700.
That's a pretty decent couch for $600-700.
It's like, a nice LC.
It's like a nice LC.
Yeah, we got it from Ashley Furniture, and it was, you know, of course they always market like, oh, it was originally $3,000. We'll give it to you $50. You know, but no, it is really nice, and we've had it now obviously for like 2 days.
How much puke and piss was on that thing?
Nothing. No, Maddie said, do not let Dobie on this. So they're okay. What did I do later? He sat up there with Dad. He sat up there with Dad.
Your mama ain't home? Come on up.
I made the mistake, though, of, you know, sometimes you accidentally snitch on yourself. Because, like, she came home, she was in a good mood. And she was like, oh, yeah. I was like, he's done so good today. And she was like, oh, really? Like, you know, what's he been doing? I was like, well, you know, to be honest, he sat up there on the couch with me and just was such a good boy. And she's like, he did what? I specifically told you not to let him on the couch. She went off on me, and I was like, why did I tell her? You know,
you're gonna have to make a TikTok dance.
I know.
To apologize.
Well, no, before it gets banned.
Yeah, I know. I was so happy. I was like, yes. I was like, Matt, you better watch those last talks.
You better download them real quick.
I know.
Hell yeah. I'm
but I'll tell you another funny thing too is yesterday. So I took 3 scoops of good old Green Monster Coat Brock, and I went 3 scoops because I needed a little extra kick. And then later, Maddie was
just
like...
Just for arms?
Well, I ran 3 miles and hard workout in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
And then, so I took 3 scoops, and I had a phenomenal arm day.
Fucking A.
So Maddie came home, and I was like, yeah, I took 3 scoops. She said, you took what? And I was like, not red apple. And she was like, oh, okay.
She's like, is it there?
No, but honestly... Ball shrinkage alone, I think you can ignore that. What would 1.5 grams of DHMA do to you?
I feel like you'd throw up.
You'd start floating.
Dude, no. It'd probably be like not a good feeling.
Let's see what 3 scoops would be.
So I do know one chick.
12 grams citrulline, 9 grams beta alanine.
Dang.
Yeah, you'd be lit.
You told me about one chick double scooped.
Double scoop it, Jesus and I'm not going to put her name out there, obviously.
Whitney?
No. But she did tell me she had dabbled with some party drugs, like cocaine. So this probably isn't 2 scoops of this probably isn't much compared to that.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be. I was thinking it was 500. It wouldn't be 1.5, but it would still be 600 milligrams, though.
Yeah, which is still stupid outrageous. And the ingredient that would actually probably fuck you up the most is the Yohimbe that's at the very bottom.
I was going to say.
Because a lot of people get anxiety from that. No.
No. Did you not include that in
I just didn't include it because a lot of people have bad reactions to it. They'll get cold sweats. The Yohimbe.
Oh, yeah.
Some people just swear up and down that they can't handle it. They get cold sweats. They get anxiety from it. And I'm like, I've never
What is it about that? And what does it do for you?
Gives me a little bit of this, like,
it's a stimulant.
Feeling,
yeah.
It's definitely still a stimulant, but it just some people get bad reactions to it and just get cold sweats.
Yeah, with salt.
No, that was before the salt days.
It's in the new.
That was the dehydrated days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, my day was pretty good. We've already talked about it a little bit. I cranked it out. So I set my alarm finally for 3:45 because I've been getting up a little bit later. But I got a new schedule, 5 a.m.s Monday through Friday.
How do you keep from waking Sarah up?
On the days that she works, she gets up at 5 herself. So, she's a pretty deep sleeper.
Does Sarah wake up on the first alarm or is she a snoozer?
It just depends. Some days she's a first alarmer. I'm definitely a snoozer.
Oh,
so
really?
I set it at 3:45 and I woke back up at 4.
God, Maddie pisses me off with that. Because my thing is, why set an alarm if you're not going to get up at the initial...
a different person in that twilight of the morning.
I can't. I haven't gotten my Jocko style yet, man. Get up and get it done. Once the feet hit the floor, I'm going.
But it's like, because the in between time between the first alarm and the second, or
I don't go back to sleep.
You're not going to go back to sleep. The quality of sleep
feels
isn't there.
so good just to get back in bed and just lay there.
Especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
You just need me in there dumping cold water.
I want to be a hard ass so bad. I want to just be able to hop out of bed, like almost my eyes just sitting there staring at the clock, waiting for it to go off, just like, just straight badass.
Sometimes I've had that happen where I wake up at like 4:59 and I'm like, where's the alarm? And then it ding ring and I'm like, yeah, bitch, let's go.
I used to go to school with this guy who was deaf, and I used to be a little jealous of his alarm clock because
Did it vibrate?
It would vibrate the bed and then turn the lights on.
That would be
and it
way
would be
better.
Like, I want that. Yeah,
Way
what the
more
heck?
effective.
I used to have my Fitbit watch. It'll give you that gentle vibration to wake you up. And this one too, I think in the new update that's coming out in a little bit, it'll actually track your sleep, because currently it does, and you have to get an app to do it. But I'm interested to try out the vibration wake up, because I did like that with the Fitbit. The problem is it fucked me over once.
Yeah.
Didn't wake me up.
Same here.
But I think the Apple Watch probably will do a better job. But we'll see. But I do like that, because that is a nice, gentle way to wake up rather than some like obnoxious noise.
I would like an abrupt way to wake up, like really get my senses going to where I can't go back to sleep.
You need that Jocko song.
I do.
10.
Yeah.
Oh damn!
The enemy's approaching. 9.
Oh, shit, where's he at? Where's
That is pretty effective. It
Sarah,
is almost
get
like
down, Sarah, get down.
because I feel like
What is
when I used to have that as an alarm every morning, you just hear, "You have 10 seconds to get up," and then all of a sudden it's just like, "Okay, I'm awake."
Oh God, I
Shit.
Yeah, it's
Come
almost
up
like,
behind
what is the
and slit
mission?
my throat.
Yeah.
All right, before we dive into, I guess, some more interesting topics, you can kick it off in a minute. We'll touch on that.
I thought it was my show.
No,
this guy's
no,
running
no.
it over here,
Now
dude.
we're flipping the table this time.
Just the caddy.
I gotta shout out old buddy Griffin for hopping on the train with the 10,000 shorts.
Yeah.
Oh,
He dropped the code Covington and got himself some premium shorts.
no plugs on this show.
You're
Yeah.
cutting this out of the podcast.
Yeah, he dropped the
All right, so
code.
talk about him a little bit, because
Okay.
I'd like to hear your insight.
Here's my thing with so he got the session shorts, which here's my thing is like these that I'm wearing right now, they're the interval shorts. First instinct on them, I didn't really like them that ton, and especially for the price, because they're if you get the liner, which I recommend doing, they clock in at like with my code, like $52 or something. But it's pricey. It's that Lululemon kind of range. And the problem with these is like the waistband's a little more flimsy. The liner's a little bit longer, so it's not like that boxer brief length. But the thing is, with the ones that he got and the ones that I love for like leg day and running, they're that 5-inch inseam, so they let the quads out for leg day. The liner's that boxer brief, so it's nice and out of the way, keeps things secure, but the nuts aren't hugged. Like sometimes
It is a good liner.
Yeah, he's used it. He can speak to it. Like if you've used like a brief liner, that's that like tighty whitey type thing, like the Ever Forward.
Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable thing. If you have any kind of glutes, it's going to give you a wedgie.
They do.
It's going to hug the nuts of the dick too much.
The struggle.
But this
All that
liner,
cake.
it keeps things secure. It's comfortable. You kind of forget it's there. And then like the short itself is a nice kind of light material. Everything nice little zip pocket. Anyway, and of course, since I'm affiliated with them, I got to try them with less expense up front. But I do like them a lot, and I have worn Lulu for a while. And so I can kind of fairly compare them.
Yeah,
But,
I've been saying I was going to get them for a while, and it was kind of funny because he would text me of like, they're in stock, because they sell out very quickly.
I literally gave him it the morning I told him. I was like, they're in stock right now. He's like, okay, I'll buy them when I get home.
Because I was working out, and I got home like an hour later, and they were sold out. And it's like, all right,
So-
well, it wasn't meant to be.
I've got questions.
Uh-huh.
So with shorts, I am a guy, and this is just me thinking on my mind, with gym shorts in general. Why would I care about different style of shorts? Like I have those, like say for example, Ever Forwards. I wear them to the beach. I wear them in the gym. I wear them going out. Like what's the difference? Like what is the difference between the sessions and the other shorts?
I'll let him
like,
speak since he's on
like,
bias.
are they like I feel like I'd wear the same pair of shorts for everything I do.
So for me, especially with gym clothes, I'm very much like piecemeal as far as like I'll always wear just my GYMFLO shirts. I'll always wear my like Nut Bash shirts, other things like that. Like, I'm not really, it's not like I'm coming dressed to impress, if that makes sense. Which, not to say anything bad, but it's just like, I just always
And they're to
you're
work.
the same way, I'm sure. And I always have shorts that, you know, these are like 10 years old from like Marshalls or something like that. So it's like, I don't really care that much. Except I almost feel like, I don't know if you're ever this way, and I haven't worn them in a while, but like, I always enjoy stringers for like a back day or other things like that, because it's like, you know, if it's your certain day, you want to almost dress however you would feel most comfortable for. And I have like the more fitted joggers from Julian Smith that I like to wear for like upper body days, just because they're a little bit more tapered.
You like showing that dick print. That's what
Yeah.
Right? The gray ones?
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
What's up, ladies?
So, yeah, get a little Captain Morgan pose on the machine. But anyway, like, I used to really like to, I had dabbled with the sweat shorts for a little while. I had gotten the Gymshark ones, but actually I'm not a big fan of the sweat shorts now that I have them, truth be told. I don't really like how hot they get. And also they get very sweaty.
Yeah, I noticed
and
that.
so that's the one thing is, you know, with Brock's thing, and like, I love him to death, but at the same time, like, I'm not a big spender on clothes. I don't really like to spend a lot of money on that stuff, especially gym clothes. So it's one of those things where when he was saying like, oh, you try this out or get this pair, I was just kind of like, yeah, you know, I've had Lululemon shirts before and they accidentally got thrown away, because I had put them in a wet clothes bag and someone thought they were trash and threw them away.
They're trash.
So it was one of those things that it was like, well, that was a lot of money that's now gone. And so it's like, I would rather for gym clothes or clothes that are going to get worn down, just like, you know, just have what I have and that's it, and not really care too much. But it was one of those things that he let me try a pair of his, and I always feel like I have toothpick legs when I wear any sort of shorts that are like normal cut. So the fact that they are up higher and like more tapered, I was like blown away of like pumped legs. They look like that. Like, this is like
sausages. You
know, everybody always asks me like, do you even do legs? And it's for me like, you know, whip it out. Let's see. Yeah. So that kind of blew me away. And you know, beforehand too, I was always wearing like the tights or whatever. And I find that with deadlifting, especially too, when I wear like leggings, I skin my thumbs a lot because the like scraping against my leg with the leggings on, like it will just wear that away. So I am kind of team shorts now. And so that's the other thing too, is being part of the commando crew. I like that I can wear the shorts with liner and not have to worry about that too.
Well, so I'll touch on two things that he mentioned. Is like, one, I was a similar way too, and I am with shirts. Like, why am I going to spend more than, I'll just wear a $20 cotton t-shirt to the gym. Yeah. And it doesn't really matter. Like you say, you just came there to work. But to your point, Austin, is I'm the same way. I think all of us are the same way. Like, we wear our gym clothes out and about. Yeah. Because we work at gyms, we work out at gyms, and then when we aren't at gym, we're still wearing like the shit.
Gym is life.
Yeah. So, whatever we wear, we're kind of wearing for universal feeling. And so I see you in the Ever Forward pair, multiple times throughout the week. And, so why not invest and put money into a nicer quality short that you're going to wear multiple times? You're going to get your use. I mean, if you spend whatever money on it, you're wearing it 3 times a week. I mean, within a couple months, it's 30 cents a day or something like that. It kind of, and it's something that's going to last, and something you're going to your point, enjoy when you get to put it on for your squat or leg day. You're that much more excited. Yeah. And so that's how I was when I first got like my Lulus. And over time, of course, luckily being with the brand, and then just over time, kind of investing and buying more myself. Now I have only 10,000 shorts, or I think I still have 2 pairs of Lulus I'll wear. But now that I have like primarily, over time built up to where I only have premium shorts, now every time I put on my shorts, I'm like more excited to run or lift or whatever. And, I know they're built to last and this and that.
And there is something to be said too. I don't know if we've touched on this kind of stuff before, but with certain things that I think are like something that you do regularly, I always think it's more important to have something nice, but maybe less of. Because I always feel like too, I enjoy like the care of things that are quality. So like I like, using a whetstone and sharpening a nice like kitchen knife to maintain it. Or if I have like a nice dress shirt, I enjoy like hanging that up to dry and then ironing it and not just like tossing it in the dryer and like kind of just going about my day, if that makes sense.
He shows up to the second, third round of interviews, same shirt. They're like, oh, okay.
So, I enjoy that kind of stuff. So like for me, sometimes getting something nice that I know will last, and then also that like I feel like I feel good in or look good in, and then also enjoy the care of, like, to me it checks all the boxes, and the only detriment is the money. So it's like, if that's the only downfall, then I'll just save up the money.
And the last thing I'll say, then you can share your kind of rebuttal, is that they just came out with the set short. The reason I'm
for
saying
3
this,
payments of $19.99.
no, but surprisingly enough, though, it's part of their Pro line, which I don't know what else they're going to drop in there, but it's only $4 more actually. But the thing is, though, and I'm gonna try them today. But to your point about wearing them to the beach, is they're built for aquatic training and different stuff like that too. So they can double as swimming trunks. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. I am interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
We've got them closer.
When's your birthday?
We got some time. December.
Okay.
But I don't need anything bought for me, god damn it. But I'm definitely interested. And after I see them on you, I seen you training in them. They do look good.
And here's the thing. Just like Griffin, I'll give you any pair, and same with you if you want to try the Foundation or the other ones. I'm here, your resource to try. You can try before you buy.
Okay.
Yeah,
y'all hear that?
No, y'all can't. Yeah, the listeners, mail me your shorts.
Yeah.
Just smell that's what he
smells like leg day.
But,
damn it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
maybe I'll convince you sometime.
I probably will invest in a pair, because if not, like I was telling you, some other brands that I was seeing, I'm not going to mention, but, but if I'm going to do it, might as well get some that I've seen, been able to see and feel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see.
And that's the other thing, too, is I feel like, if you have like a friend attachment to something, then it definitely makes you feel better about pulling the trigger.
For sure.
Well, and plus, I can be honest and say that their shirts are overpriced. Like, they have 2 kind of shirts that, and they're more of a shorts brand, but they do have 2 shirts. One of them is basically just a simple cotton t-shirt. Fits pretty good, but it's a cotton t-shirt with just some ventilation holes in the armpit. And then their other shirt is super lightweight. I love running in it, but at the same time, like the other day I saw my dad wearing one from like Ross or something that was not quite as light or the same material, but his was like $18 maybe. Mine was technically like $50. Yeah. So, I will call overpriced.
50 is a steep for a shirt.
For sure, yeah.
Most
even
shirts,
a hoodie.
You see like the range being $20 to $24, $25 for a shirt.
My thing with shirts, and again, why I lift in cotton is my thing is like 20 to 30. And, my thing is a shirt is a shirt. It almost like, it can fit a little bit nicer in some areas, but, it doesn't have much function for the most part. At least shorts, like, as far as them riding up, as far as your junk, as far as, how they fit around your waist, they look. There's a lot more, things to a short.
Functionality to
There's
them.
a lot more functionality to a short than a shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Something we were kind of talking about before that I was thinking about as far as topic is just 2 things kind of broad, but maybe we can delve into some subcategories. Yeah. But respect and criticism, like, is that something that is kind of mutual? As far as I've always heard the quote of like, you should only take criticism from people you would ask for advice. But like, what do you feel like kind of earns your respect or other things like that from maybe competitors or people you look up to in the industry or just in general?
Yeah. So my first take when you said respect and criticism, do they go hand in hand or something like that? I feel like they do. If you respect somebody, you're going to probably look out for them and be like, hey, I know you can do better, or not criticize in a negative way, in a positive way of like, hey, maybe look at it this way or try this way or, change things up to try and be better. But then I guess it's all about intent. If the person deep down wants you to just shit on you and, say you aren't shit or you're doing it the wrong way and aren't giving you resolutions or solutions on how to fix things and move forward, then I think, then there's no respect there and it's just a shithead. But I think they go hand in hand, and I don't know when you sort of earn that respect. I think as men, you sort of should start off with just knowing each other you each of you have those boundaries, and I don't know how to word it, but
I feel like there's so many ways you can go with respect, but I think off the top of my head, a few things that I guess you do to build respect with someone you first meet is like a couple things. Is like one, being genuine and being honest.
of course.
So obviously it goes as simple as not lying to the person, but also not being fake. Like, if you say, you support someone or whatever, and let's say, I mean, it's as simple as this, seems a little bougie, but like, if you guys have a great conversation in person and then you go and follow them on Instagram and they don't follow you back, you're kind of like, was that conversation not a mutual enjoyed kind of experience, or like,
were they putting on?
Yeah, were they putting on an act just to, kind of be in my favor? Another thing is kind of like just being humble with putting in work. If they're constantly like me, or like we talked about, just doing something shady, not doing it, something the right way, then you don't earn respect that way. And also the last one that I kind of think of is just being like loyal, like being there for someone, being consistent as far as like your work ethic or your views or your support, whatever it is, like being there and being consistent / loyal. I feel like is something that slowly over time builds respect amongst peers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's deep. Respect especially is deep. Like just knowing that people have their own perspectives, and I guess having empathy on what people are going through. And it's branched off in my mind. Like as I start to think more about it, it's like a big web of people's, not feelings. I hate to say that because that sounds soft, but people's like emotions.
I told Griffin because he mentioned it on the way, and I told him like I think of two things. I think of, like you said, that kind of web of respect that goes with, I feel like, how you respect and the average citizen, the person you don't know.
For sure.
And like you have to have that kind of mutual, genuine respect. It's not super high, but it's certainly not low. It's opening the door for someone. It's respecting someone else's values or opinions or whatever it is, just being courteous. And then there's the respect amongst us or amongst people at the gym or people closely or your boss, to where it has to be earned or it has to be understood or it has to, it can grow and decay. But, that's the more, I guess, personal respect. But then there's the non-personal, just public respect that you have for people that you don't even know or, engage with.
I guess a great way to, like, now that I heard you say all that, thinking of a business relationship or working relationship or friendship relationship or just a stranger, knowing respect in general should be knowing that you aren't over or above anybody else out there. Knowing that everybody's equal. They're human just as much as you, man or woman, and not acting or, putting things off as, oh, I am the shit. What are you doing, you scum?
And that's kind of what we were talking about too, is like, just because you might have a title of a boss or something like that that title doesn't guarantee that same kind of treatment, if that makes sense too. But yeah, I was thinking about that just because I can't remember what I was listening to, but the guy was talking about kind of, not looking to others for like internal strength, really kind of building that up for yourself, if that makes sense. But he kind of made the point of like, if you think about people in your life that you see as a mentor or something like that, how many people that aren't a family member do you really think of? And so I was just thinking about like, how many people do I respect or look to as a mentor? And I feel like you guys definitely, but I really feel like I have not really that many other people within that circle, if that makes sense, that I would really like hold in that high regard. And it is funny too, because it's like both of you guys, I feel like I think of in that way, but it's like, I don't really think of it because you're like much better than me at something, if that makes sense. So it is kind of just something I was thinking about.
Yeah. It's, now that you say that, I don't know if it's sad, but like, I don't see anybody in my family, not to say I don't look up to them, but that I think that's like a mentor to me. It's weird. Now
yeah, it is kind of weird to think it like
that's
just
kind of fucked up, I guess.
Because you never really think about it like that, and then all of a sudden, I feel like when you start to kind of reflect on it, it's like, man, I guess I don't really have anybody that
I could definitely say on the top, like off the top of my head, there's maybe at most 5 people. I don't, maybe not even that many that I would be like, oh man, I consider them a mentor or somebody that I like aspire to, not look like or be like, but just like, to, become something great like that.
You know, like it's hard too to think, you know, now that we have the internet, it's hard to think of somebody that's actually in your own life that's not just someone you follow on Instagram. There goes the voice crack. But something like that.
Every
That's
time. Check his nuts.
You heard Command the other day, dude? You're wearing some tight boys.
So it's like, it's hard to find, you know, somebody that's not just, I don't want to say a persona or an act through an app, but like, you know, it's hard to think of an actual list of people that are around you or in your group.
It's almost like Instagram's raised the bar for what someone should or can accomplish.
Imagine like before internet or Instagram, even before Instagram, like being able to like, you would only be as good as like the people you're around, which fortunately we're, you know, at least we're around each other and we're trying to do good things. But like, imagine if you just had a shitty group of friends and you didn't have the internet, you didn't know that there was better things out there, bigger things that you could be pursuing. It's just like, oh, fuck, I guess I'm gonna just chill, you know, or like just knowing that like things like this, even though they can be a bad thing in negative ways, it's how you use the tool. Obviously, Instagram is a tool, you know, but it's crazy to think before these times, like what would we be looking at as like an example or like a mentor?
Yeah, that is
maybe a Tony Robbins book or something like that, like something like a book of some sort. But it's kind of weird.
Do you feel like that you kind of need that circle or almost like something to bounce off of to be able to like continue to grow yourself? Because I don't feel like I could really be self-motivated if I didn't have, like, for example, I feel like when I see you guys do what you do, it almost makes me feel like, oh, well, like I can do that in my own way. Yeah. But if I didn't have that, it would be a lot harder for me to, I feel like, establish myself or kind of like, you know, if I didn't have someone like Brock that I feel like I can ask questions about something like an LLC for, it'll be a lot harder for me to feel like, oh, that's something I can do, if that makes sense.
So, can I answer real quick?
Go ahead.
So, with something that... Dang it. Something that you said right there, needing a group. I think, no, do I need it? And I guess the same thing you just said. It would take longer. It'd be a little bit harder to find the motivation and the drive and like feeling unsure about things. But, you know, I don't think I'd be making these next few, I consider them jumps.
Yeah.
Without probably Brock.
Yeah. The cornerstone.
It's about time.
Yeah. So the least you can do is get some shorts.
You can screen grab this.
Go, Covington. Yeah.
But, you know, there's some things that were definitely in the works. And it's like, I don't think I would have made that jump just yet without, you know, you and both you all, actually. It's just like...
Or it would almost feel... I can see how almost hopeless it would feel in comparison without having that.
I think it's easy to just kind of float around in, like, your scenario. Like, you know, when something's good, you know, you're just happy with your you know, your circumstance. Like, I think we're all in pretty good, you know, situations. Especially, you know, I was thinking yesterday, it's cheesy as shit, but, you know, I was just breathing in the nice air, feeling the sun, I was walking Dobie, and I was like, I just love what I do. You know, I love like the work I'm doing right now, the financial situation I'm in, the friends that I have. Like, if I had to do this every day, I wouldn't hate it. Like, I love my position, but at the same time, like, I know I can do so much more. And, you know, I think, like you said, like when you're around a group of people that are like-minded, I think it just pushes you to, you know, to kind of bounce off each other and to feel like, oh, you know, not in a competitive way, but it's like, oh, well, Austin's got this going. Well, you know, I can learn from him in this aspect, and then I can also kind of, you know, teach him in this aspect, or he can gain something from me. And it's just gaining things off of each other because we're all better and you know, in different ways. Like, you know, Griffin's a lot more advanced, I feel like, as an adult as far as like cooking and like all this kind of like hiking, these different like aspects that I may not, you
kind
know,
of unnecessary like, skills.
Well, no. They're not unnecessary, but like, you know, I feel like in a lot of ways, you know, I can gain a lot from you as far as like next steps of livelihood to make things. So not like I can't, you know, figure them out like myself, but little things, you know, like a bidet. You know, like I would have never. These are bad examples, but they're examples nonetheless.
No, you're gonna get your Boy Scout.
I would have never
here soon.
Yeah. But point is, you know, we can all gain something from each other and learn from each other, and you know, oh man, where was I going with that? Well, but to your point though, I agree completely with you, and I feel like when you're around with someone, you can make faster jumps, and when you have resources, that's what I was gonna say. When you have resources, as far as like someone that has done an LLC before, or someone that knows somebody, or like your mom has been a great resource.
For something.
But for for something. Yeah. But I started laughing because I knew that sentence was going to come out stupid. But she's been great with referring different people to help us, and it's like, if we didn't have that resource, if I wasn't friends with you, she wouldn't have had those connections, and vice versa. Or like my mom knowing a contractor. And it's like these different things. It's all about connections and people, as in life and in business in general. And so, the more good connections that you can develop, the better respect to connect everything all together that you can have amongst each other. You make bigger jumps. You make faster jumps.
And that's kind of something, too, on that subject. Like, I've heard before, too, that, everybody that knows a different version of you. So, like, you got your gym friends. Like, I've got some friends that I play music with, or that I have gone climbing with, or some are, like, high school buddies that, like, we really just kind of have nostalgia that we share amongst each other, but don't really have much in common anymore. But there is something to be said, I feel like, too. Like, there are only a select few people that are in your life that I feel like know you more than just that surface level. And I really do feel like you guys, especially with the quarantine, I feel like I've gotten to know both of you a lot better over that time period. Yeah. And it is weird to just think about, like, there's another one. But just, like the... but just the, like, not to blow smoke up you guys, but like, it is one of those things. I'm surprised that the more time we spend together, because I'm very introverted naturally. And like, for me, sometimes I was talking to somebody the other day and he was like, so do you hang out with a lot of people during the quarantine? And I was like, no, really just like my two friends that I work out with and kind of work with. And to me, like, usually that's enough interaction for the day, if that makes sense. But like, I don't really, aside from just going to the gym, maybe catching up with some people there, like, I don't really need that much more. But I am surprised, like, as I've gotten to know both of you guys better, the more time we spend together, the more I appreciate that as well. And it's like, not to sound cheesy, but it's nice to find people in your life that you continue to grow with, but then also, like, the more you kind of delve into that relationship or that growth, the more you kind of find that you feel like you can kind of start to plant roots with, if that makes sense.
Are we getting a house together or no? What? It sounds like
I think so.
I know. Look up Mormonism.
I feel the same way though. Compound. Like, Maddie and I are both the same way, but definitely me. I'm just more open and honest about it. But I'm just so... I don't need that much social interaction with people. Like, I'm very minimal with that. Like, I'm cool with, seeing people at the gym or seeing people out and about. Like, having some acquaintances, that's fine. But as far as, like, the level of acquaintance, friend, and close friends, I have no friends. I have acquaintances or I have close friends. And my close friends is basically y'all two. And obviously Maddie's a step above. So she's working her way up.
What can I do to get there?
Yeah. You guys gotta work a little harder. But point is, and I feel like that serves a lot of benefits for me as far as developing business wise, relationship wise, life wise, whatever. It's because I have people that are, I can depend on them, and we understand each other. We're on the same kind of wavelength. When you have friends, just general friends, I mean that's nice and all, but I mean, a lot of times they aren't going to be on the same wavelength as you. You're not going to spend as much time with them. They're just going to be the come and go kind of friend, like occasionally you get a drink with or whatever. And I feel like besides the brief social interaction, there's not much you actually gain from that.
Yeah.
And I hate to look at things like that, but it's the same way as looking at like a Netflix show. You get that stimulation, that entertainment, but you don't walk away with anything versus a podcast, a documentary or something. Sure, you get the entertainment, but you also get some knowledge to take away. I feel like it's the same way, analogy with our times that we're together is, we enjoy our time together as friends, but then we also can take away something, whether it be a skill, information, knowledge, whatever it is, or we're building up and assisting each other. Yeah. And I feel like you get that from our interactions rather than just a hello, a drink, a couple jokes, like you mentioned with your high school friends.
Yeah. And it is funny, kind of the way that you mentioned that, because like some people, you reach out to them after a while and it's like, hey man, how's everything been? You plan a dinner or something like that. But I am surprised sometimes, I don't want to get into another topic, but like, do you ever just sometimes look back at old photos or something like that and you're like, man, like we used to see each other all the time and then like it's been so long. But then sometimes when you catch back up, like halfway through dinner, it's like, okay, well I've kind of had my fill, if that makes sense. Like I'll head out sort of thing. Like, and you kind of satiate that, but there's nothing more that you feel like you need from that interaction, if that makes sense.
A ton. And,
I was thinking about that too, of like, probably at the end of last year, I was just thinking a lot about, like what will my next step in life be? And like, where do I feel like, now that school is done or other things like that, I've felt very transient really since I was like 16 years old, just because a lot of things that were going on kind of in childhood or like in adolescence and stuff, I've always felt like, there's something that is down the line, and like where I am right now is not where I'll be next year or in a year from now. It'll be when I'm here or when I'm back home or when I'm out on my own or when I finish school. I never really felt like set, if that makes sense. And back at the end of last year, I was talking to one of my friends and just thinking about like, I really have nothing that I feel like has given me an attachment to Richmond, if that makes sense. My family doesn't really live here anymore. And like, I don't really feel like tied down to where I live or my career or anything like that. And
he's announced that he's moving.
Yeah. Well, I actually talked to Austin about that a little while back, but before the quarantine happened and stuff, I was just thinking like, maybe I'll just leave like when my lease is up at the end of this month. And I was kind of thinking about that really from the beginning of the year until the quarantine happened, and just thinking about like, really there's nothing aside from just some casual friends or gym friends that I feel like I have too much attachment to, but it really has opened my eyes with both of you guys. Yeah, that like I really do appreciate and value that, and that's something that I haven't really felt like with too many other people that I've had friends or friendship with before. That I don't know, it's a nice feeling to not just feel like that kind of transient feeling of it's nice to kind of feel like people rely on you and you rely on other people too. I've never really felt that way before, and it's a good feeling. Not to get too emotional.
No,
me I feel the same way.
Or me too. Like, before I, met, I actually got to hang out with both of y'all more. Like, it was just really just me. I mean, Jake, he helps out with things, but he isn't the type to be like, hey, we need to do this. It's like, hey, I bring up the idea. He's like, all right, yeah, let's do that. Or like, he'll help me out with whatever I need to do it. But like, he isn't the type, which isn't a bad thing. Not everybody's I don't know what type person that is, but like a planner doer. He's like a worker,
not everyone is aggressive in action or leadership.
Yeah, but if I ask him to do anything, he'll do it, but like, it isn't like, thinking progressively as in like future wise and like what's the next move. It's more so let me know what I can do and I'll do it type thing. So it's always just been me, but now that like I've been bumping heads with y'all, it's just like, damn, I'm getting some outside perspective, which helps because I'm always looking from the inside, and
and it's nice to have people as a resource that
God damn.
I know this C4 is messing with me. Well, all I've had to eat today is oatmeal at 2 a.m.
Oh my God, dude! Like, get this guy a snack.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, my blood sugar. But it is nice, I feel like, knowing that there are people in your corner that like we care about you and we want to help you, and it's not just for like our own interests, if that makes sense. And it's rare to find. Yeah. Well, no, yeah. Let's have a little talk. But no, I just mean like it's nice to have that support group of people that are genuinely like looking out for you and not just trying to think of, okay, well, if I cozy up to this person 6 months from now,
ride them coattails.
Yeah, I'll be able to get rich quick or something like that. But
for sure,
that's the other thing too, is just knowing that, like, I don't know, there's a nice. It's rare to find that kind of thing, and especially I feel like sometimes with the industry you're in or kind of the environment that where it's very competitive, it's hard to find people that it's not just like a business relationship.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It is tough because I think, especially with the fitness industry, anything fitness related, it's whatever's got hype. That's what people jump behind. Like, oh, I want to be a part of that. Like, if it's got hype, even if they don't even know who owns it, who runs it, they just see the hype and they see, influencers behind it. Yeah, I want to be an athlete. That's what I want to rep. And, they aren't in it for the heart, and seeing like a goal or a vision per se. They just want to hop on and ride the coattails.
Well, and sometimes it's hard, I'll say, to be honest, from like the outside perspective, because when I was first getting involved with GYMFLO, I was excited about it, but the more and more,
oh, shit.
Yeah. No, but the more and more, obviously I love the products and I like the brand, but you can only understand the brand and the minds behind it so much from the outside perspective. So once you're a co-host on the show, but once, you're a lot more involved, we've done so many skits. We've obviously spent a shit ton of time together, and you just get more, you get more of a sense of pride when taking the product, because you know who stands behind it. You know the thought that went into it. You know the ideas we bounce back and forth on Walk the Line and the upcoming Overcome, and you just see something come to fruition. And again, like the heart and the good intentions behind it.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot more prideful to post it on my story and say, hey, double scooping this shit, and y'all should check it out. Not just because it's a local brand and it's good, but I mean, there's good people behind it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more pride when you can genuinely represent a brand and say that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real. But anyways, I got some, to not switch gears, I did have some topics.
Definitely,
I guess, wanted to rant about, and I guess the steam's kind of lost a little bit. It's sort of on my ride over here. I was jotting things down. I was just like, I was in a mood. First off, banks. I'm ready to pull all my money out of ready to pull all my money out of my account.
Something I don't know?
ATMs are closed. At least
is it because cash? They don't want
cash. Well, at least at my personal bank. So my business is run through Wells Fargo.
Cash anymore.
Well, I mean, I do to pay like rent and stuff like that. Well, I give it to Sarah and she puts it in our joint account and then pays rent with it. And a few other things. But anyways, I should be able to get cash because it is currency. I should be able to get it.
Well, it's not backed by anything. It's just a Federal Reserve note now. That's how they get
I'll tell you what, though. As far as, your... and maybe we'll use this at some point anyway, but I won't speak on it here. You should be using Zelle to send your money to Sarah.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to go ahead and sign up now or whatever. But
yeah, brief note. Zelle is more complicated than it should be.
It should be like Cash App or like Venmo, right?
So that's the thing. You don't even know what it is. I only knew it because one of my clients wanted to pay me through it when we were doing some freelance stuff. It's essentially just like Venmo, except it's from bank account to bank account, just wire transfer. There's no fees. It's very simple. It's basically with every major bank has it. But for some reason, like signing up with it, when someone initially sends you the money, you got to like accept it. And then you have to like find your bank, select it, log in. If they send it to your phone number, you have to make the phone number attached to your bank. It's stupid. It should be so simple.
Not a very good sales pitch.
No, it's awful. But as far as the functionality of it, it's great because you can do bank to bank and you don't have to worry about like PayPal charges fees. Venmo is a little bit less professional. But anyway, back to
I'm not trying to be boomer and be like, oh, the good old days of cash. Like I'm cool with not using cash, but when I need it and my bank takes that service away because of BS COVID.
Yeah.
Like, and there was a mile-long line because I need to get to cash today. So after the show, I'm going to hit the bank again, try my chances. But there was like a mile-long line to get to the tellers, and they don't allow people in the building. So you got to do it through the drive-through. ATMs are closed. It's like, holy shit! I want to get if there's a bank out there standing that's got their nuts on them, that has all their stuff open. The ATMs are open. They're still running business, running shop. Let me know. I'm coming to you. I'm giving you my money. But right now, I'm not happy. I got Bank Atlantic Union.
Gotta zell it, man. Zell it.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, we can go to the scrap yard, and they always will give an envelope full of cash. My dad used to do that with leftover scrap.
I gotta find scrap first.
All the energy drinks.
I know, that's a lot of aluminum right there.
What was the other topic?
Oh, so another one. So I'm dealing with. I have clients. Obviously, I'm a personal trainer full time, and I'm not going to name any names, but. You know, it was just a mindset that got me so, like, the thought process, maybe I used to think like this too, but just recently my mindset's clicked differently. It's like, take action. Why not today? Like, for most things. You know, I understand things are out of your control for some, but here's the example. This client is going on vacation starting this coming Friday. And I was going to change up her, not diet, but meals a little bit because she's having trouble picking foods to fit her calorie intake that she's adjusted for herself. So she's like, I don't know. She's shooting from the hip. And it's very difficult, unless you're intuitive about your eating, to shoot from the hip and just eat the exact amount of calories you need to eat. Well, anyways, I wrote her out a meal plan. She's like, should I start this today? I'm going on vacation this Friday. Should I just wait until after I get done with vacation? What kind of thought process is that? Why wouldn't you start today, bust ass during this week? Yes, on vacation, be a little relaxed with it. But that's 7 days worth or 5-6 days worth of progress that you could create right there and just move forward instead of, oh, you know what, fuck it. A week from now I'm going on vacation. Might as well just eat like shit, you know, potentially, and just not worry about my food until then. Which, I mean, maybe she doesn't have those intentions, but it's like with anybody, like it almost, it didn't infuriate me, but it was like to the point where I was like, what type of thinking is that?
You know what thinking I hate, though, and this is a hard-ass kind of opinion, but as far as vacations in general, I hate the idea of weekends and days off work and vacations.
Oh my God.
Especially when they aren't
hard over here.
I know,
Dude.
but
It's like people almost suffer so that they can have that dopamine rush of like
they go through a shitty 5 days
there's
of work.
no balance there. It's like lay out on the beach or like party all weekend and then like hate your life during the week, if that makes sense. There needs to be like
I would rather work during the weekend so that I have extra money to make my day-to-day, my everyday, better.
and enjoy the work.
Most people do. Well, deep down they do, but they work.
And to be fair, I run myself on the ground and do need breaks sometimes. They typically naturally happen, sometimes later than they should. So to be fair, there is value in vacation. I get it. But I'll give you an example that's pissed me off recently, and y'all understand it more because you're in the know. But think about how much faster things can be done if I didn't have to stop
on
getting
weekends.
emails on weekends or on after 5 p.m.
Oh yeah, no, I think business. I mean, if you're about business is a 7-day-a-week thing.
Business should be
if you are about
24 hours a day, all the time.
It is for me. If I get emails on the weekend, I still respond back to them.
Oh yeah,
but business should be, if you're about it, 7 days a week. Even if you're on vacation, you can still answer to some shit. It might just be a little bit slower. But I'm not the type that I'm like, hey, I shit on vacation. I'll take a vacation whenever.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to try and knock some shit out or handle, you know, whatever I can. I'm not going to bring my whole setup with me, but I'm going to try and at least respond and keep shit moving. But my whole thought about this initial rant was just the mindset of not starting today.
Well, that's the other thing is not to knock vacation, but I think a lot of people are like, you know, they hate their diet and then they look forward to that cheat day at the end of the week or something like that. Whereas, you know, why not like just balance it out sort of thing? And I think that's the same kind of thing is, oh, well, what, like I'm going on vacation, so it's going to be a free for all, like binge during vacation and then I'll suffer when I get back. Whereas it's like, you know, why not just make it something that is like within your means, and then also like you may have to suffer, but you also get a little reward every day, and then keep that same mindset into vacation.
Like, yeah, it's kind of just like, you know, like we talked about, would you rather enjoy every day a little bit more or just kind of go through hell for 5 days and then live it up for 2 days? It's just a give and take.
Yeah. You know, some people have it, you know, and it's not a knock to anybody, but some people have it to go out and do that and like make that for themselves. But some people are stuck in a bad,
for sure,
maybe mindset, environment at first, and they don't think they can change it, and they just feel like they're a slave to the week.
I'll tell you one thing too is financially, this is how I think. Y'all can tell me how you spend your money and how you think about it, but I always think about this too. Like if I have $1,000, right? Some people will drop that, live it up in Hawaii for like 3 days, right? To me, there's value in an experience, and obviously you enjoy those 3 days. But to me, that's so brief, such a, you know, a tiny speck of like your life and experiences that it's fun to look back on it, but it doesn't have much value to your day to day. I'd rather spend that $1,000 on, you know, an improvement in your house. Like you could renovate your kitchen, or you could get a new fire pit, or buy a new computer, or a new TV, or something that you're going to use every day for probably years to come.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a lot more value that you're getting in your money than purchasing an experience.
Okay.
I'm not a big experience purchaser in general.
But
it goes
speaking of, if you're making money, like at least my thoughts lately have been a whole lot better since I've been hanging out with both of you. And before this, I would, be willing to blow some money here and there. Not a lot. I don't buy myself a ton of shit. I'm not a baller. But I have changed my mindset to where if I do have money and I want to take a trip, I do set aside some amounts to that. I don't put all my money towards that because it is an experience. It isn't like going to put me further. But I have been saving a F ton of money, knowing that I'm going to reinvest it back into myself to make more money out of that money.
Yeah. And that's the right way to approach it.
Yeah.
Kind of to your point, I would say to me, I need to balance it out the opposite direction because I feel like for the past few years, I've been like any money I save, I just have put that towards camera equipment because I just thought like, okay, this is a stepping stone into growing something that I intend to do long term, et cetera, et cetera. But really, like I haven't really taken any vacation for a long time. And the one time that I did in the past few years, it was really nice to just have that experience and like have money saved that was intended for use of like, I'm going to have a nice dinner here.
Yeah.
I'm going to like stay a few extra days than I originally planned or other things like that.
Yeah.
And really kind of, when you get into that mode, it's nice to live in that mode. And it's not one of those things that I feel like I come back and like, oh, I hate my life. I wish I was back out there. But it is nice now having that memory of like, man, that was a really good time. I'm glad I didn't feel like I cut corners the whole time just to make it work. If that makes sense.
One thing that I've always thought about is just, I think I told you this, is financial freedom to me isn't buying that boat or that car or whatever, but it's like being able to just kind of live up that moment when you feel like it. Like if you're at a restaurant, like being like, oh, hey kids, do you want like dessert? And just not even having to think about, oh, can we afford that? Is it in the budget or whatever? And just enjoying that moment. And to your point, having the freedom to stay an extra couple of days, to enjoy the moment, to take a break from everything. Yeah. There is so much value in it, and there is a lot of value in experiences. What's the point of the money if you can't, spend it on going to the range or going and seeing that movie and enjoying it? There has to be some sense of balance. So, and as much as I'm as a hard ass on it, there is I'll let you speak.
You're fine.
There's got to be a balance, but I think you obviously have to build that ratio based off what you enjoy and what your situation is.
And that's the thing too, is that I kind of have learned a little bit later is I feel bad sometimes because some of my friends are very well off financially in what they earn, but they are now in a situation to where they're in so much debt from getting these advanced degrees or to get to this point where like one of my friends recently now has to work 12 hours a day for 12 days on and then gets 2 days off, and then 12 hours a day, 12 days on, 2 days off. And it's like, unfortunately, that is where you are, and like you can't back out of that now because you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
And hopefully they enjoy that work that they do for 12 hours.
Yeah, because that would be hard, I feel like, now, if that was something that you realize. Because I used to train a lawyer, and she was like, just apparently when you start to become a lawyer, you kind of have to work your way through the ranks until you can get a little bit more of the cushy kind of position in that field. And she was at a point where she was really having a hard time as far as caseload, responsibility, weekend work, early mornings, and she was sleeping like 3 hours a night essentially just to kind of stay up, stay late at the office, finish this. And she was kind of like, it's just the stepping stone that needs to happen. Yeah. But I do feel bad sometimes when it's like, maybe you get to that point and realize that that's not really, because she was also saying back then, I don't know if this is what I want to do forever, this or that. And I feel bad that, you might not feel like you have the freedom to divert to something else because you took out that loan or something like that. So kind of going off Brock's point while you were in the bathroom, just, it's hard to kind of, wealth is not financial freedom per se if you're not able to kind of be frugal when you need to, or kind of not take on the debt that you that might come with getting greater wealth later on. Like I'd much rather be, maybe out of debt and be a little bit more free in that regard than make more money but feel like I'm held to something, if that makes sense too.
I guess like thinking about like wealth now, like I used to think of it as just all totally financial, but it's definitely being able to do what you enjoy, enjoy your days, not hate your day. And then also have some type of freedom during that day, not to have to, work your entire 16, 18-hour day.
Yeah.
We talked about that so much off podcast, Griffin. I know we talked about like just what your time is worth, like as instead of making an extra 20 grand a year, how much better would your days be if you can make the same 40, 50, 60 grand, whatever it is, but working like 3 fewer hours each day, How much more time could you either put towards another job to make more money, or put towards a passion of yours, or just put towards, your kids or whatever it is. I mean, an extra hour a day, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, but still making the same income. If you can be more efficient and work fewer hours, it makes a world of difference. And so sometimes instead of searching for more money, you should search for more time.
Yeah. Well, another thing to top off this, I guess, is another topic that I was thinking about. It's just like, it's crazy how it's just boom, boom, boom. I just started thinking about things. I was like, man, why do people do this and think this way? Yeah. One last thing about thought processes. And maybe I'm just a person that doesn't care about maybe algorithms and or following and or what people, I do care about what people think, but not in like if they like me.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that I don't portray as a dick. I don't want to come off as like a know-it-all. That's my goal. It's like at least, not being like, oh yeah, I'm the shit. Like as long as I'm putting out knowledgeable
character versus reputation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And one thing I've seen people do, and this isn't anybody in particular, I've seen multiple people do it. And I'm like, I sit back and think, I'm like, why would you care or even care to ask? People being like, hey, what do you guys think if I posted a day of eating? Or what do you think if I post my training for the day? Fuck it. Just go ahead and post it. Who cares what people like? Why are you waiting for an approval? Like, what do you work for these people? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, do they pay you? Like,
there is that weird kind of
fucking just post it.
That mentality you get in sometimes where it's like, this didn't get as many
but
likes.
What are you worried about? Like following?
Yeah.
Algorithm? Like, fuck it.
Well, especially, here's the biggest thing too. Like, I wholeheartedly agree. And I think the biggest thing is too, like when you post something like that, you put a little poll in your story, I think people are inclined to say yes or just skip it. Because what are they going to say no when your name shows up as saying no? It's going to be like,
I didn't realize that when that feature first rolled out. So there are a few no's that
so he's got a few enemies. But but that's one. And then two, to your point, the funny thing too is because I used to think a little bit like, oh, what do you guys want to see? Not that like I'm not going to post a certain thing if someone says it, but more like getting a feel for your audience. That's one thing.
Yeah, most definitely. And I didn't mean by that.
No, I know. But the biggest thing, though, is like, for 99% of these people, including myself, you have a small following. Like, it might be big maybe for your area, 2, 3, 8 grand, but it's not that many people.
Yeah.
So it's really like, you know what, just post what you enjoy.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, it's not going to, like,
you.
make or break your audience. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do with, like, my YouTube. I post when I feel like it. I post these Sunday spells. They get, like, 10 views. I don't care. It's a way for me. Yeah, y'all two are a fifth of that. And I don't care. I just keep posting. If they get views, they do. If they don't, they don't. But I enjoy it. It's a way for me to keep posting content and drink my coffee and rant on some shit. And, it's just what it is. Like, post what you enjoy. And I think, people overcomplicate something when they aren't even getting paid.
And I see, like, with you talking about the Sunday Spill, I see that, like, even if you weren't to get more than 10 views ever moving forward, that is only just sharpening your skill of being able to talk to a camera with nobody around it. Like, I see, like, the little things like that. I see that. I'm like, man, he's practicing every Sunday on talking to a camera.
The first few times I did it, it's all one take. But the first few times I did it, I would fuck up a few minutes in, and I'd be like, damn it, I have to restart. But the past, 15, like you said, it's a straight shoot. I don't even have to think about it.
And there's so many people that probably could not do that, and they're worried about this and that. It's like, dude, like, I don't know. I see other little things. I'm not some fucking messiah,
that's a good topic,
but you know what I'm saying. I just see a lot of people asking for permission or asking for, I don't know. It's just like, why even? Who cares? Just post that shit.
Damn, we didn't get
Oh
questions.
yeah, let's break out some cards.
God damn.
So this is Answer the Internet from Barstool Sports.
On the spot.
And Brock is going to cherry pick some cards for us to go over. I guess we can get some updates. GYMFLO Overcome still has not arrived yet. Still waiting on the manufacturer to pump this bad boy out. They've been behind. They said about a week and a half to 2 weeks on production timing, so it should have been in by now. But we're looking. What is today's date? Today's the 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I would hope maybe by the end of this week, maybe the first to middle of next week, we might have Overcome in, which that means a week from after that potentially, because I want to be able to have some content and stuff, pictures and content created to where we can drop it with a potential shirt and stuff like that. That'd be cool. So cool thing, big things coming, guys. Yeah. But I will hopefully have a product breakdown for that in one of the next shows once it does land, and we can talk about it, taste test it, and the whole nine. But yeah, that's pretty much all the updates for now. Fever's back in stock. And reordering and resampling Green Monster because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. I'm pretty sure I have on the show, but the flavor is a little bit off from the original sample that we had. So the next improved flavor of Green Monster All or Nothing X is going to be top notch.
Nice. I'm excited to try.
Yeah, dude.
I love it as is.
I know, that's what I keep telling people. Some people are like, what? It's not right? I'm like, yeah. Holy shit. If I had to give it a 1 out of 10 right now, in my opinion of what it should be, it's like a 6.
Dang.
Yeah. And before is, I don't give anything a 10, but before is definitely like an 8, 9 for sure.
I'm curious.
Faux show.
All right, let's go.
Ready?
Yep.
Go for it.
All right. Answer the internet. Questions as fucked up as you are. Debate the internet. Finally, we haven't had one of these in a while.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 90s Nickelodeon shows that you would hold up today? Hold on.
That would hold up today.
Yeah, that would hold up today. So what are the top 3 90s Nickelodeon shows that would hold up today? I'd have to think. Because there's a few old shows, Nickelodeon.
I used to watch The Amanda Show. I thought that was funny.
I have a couple in mind. Because for some, the weird thing is, I'm obviously not a 90s kid. I was born 2000. But even my brother, he was 96. So he was technically a 90s kid. But he wasn't really watching DB until 5 or 6. But even then, it's like, for some reason, they still had those reruns on, well into my age group, so mid-2000s. And so somehow I got a really good selection. So I'm going to rattle off a couple, but the first few will probably be my 3. As you mentioned, The Amanda Show is great. Just complete nonsense with the Dancing Lobsters, Mr. Gullible, the one with the hillbillies.
Yeah, dang. Totally Kyle.
Totally Kyle. The girls' room, all that stuff.
I like eggs.
All that good stuff. So
is this going over
Amanda
your head?
Show.
Probably. I don't.
You were right before. Well, no,
I didn't watch
there,
this.
but you didn't.
I think the creator was outed as a pedophile or something.
Yeah, Dan Schneider. We won't talk about that. Oof. But anyway, also major Hey Arnold fan.
I was never allowed to watch it.
I watched Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold was good
because they said stupid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm trying to think of what other Nickelodeon.
I also really liked Cat Dog.
All right, I did watch Cat Dog a little bit.
Cat Dog was stupid.
Cat Dog, Cat Dog. Yeah. The song, dude.
Dude, I was... Okay.
Wasn't there one with a mouse, or was the mouse in
Mouse is in Cat Dog. Rocket Power was good.
Rocket Power. I watched a little bit of that. Yeah, those... And I was right at the end of that shit. I was getting a little...
Wild Thornberries.
Oh, that
mainly
one was
just
good.
the movie. I didn't watch a ton of it.
Yeah.
God. There's definitely some others. Oh, Rugrats is on there.
So...
Yeah.
And when I'm thinking about this, Nickelodeon's tough. I'd have to look up shows that I've been. Oh, I remember that. But
you know what blows my mind is when I look up, I'll look at and see 20 or 30 different shows that I'm like, oh, I remember every episode, and I'm like, how could I possibly watch this much TV within my youth years while going to school, playing sports, doing all this? I'm like, Jesus Christ, how did I have that much time?
That's how I wonder that too.
Because I swear to God, I've seen almost every SpongeBob and all these.
Because sometimes I feel like I would watch TV or cartoons all morning, and then it would never feel like, oh, the day is almost done or something like that.
No, I got a whole afternoon of cartoons left, dude. But what I was going to mention is that I can't think of Nickelodeon shows off the top of my head that I've really watched that were a little bit dated compared to the ones y'all mentioned.
90s ones.
I watched a lot of Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
That was good.
F-ton of that.
Yeah.
But 90s, I guess I'm going to have to go with Cat Dog. I can't think of many other older ones off the top of my head.
I wasn't a big Keenan and Kel guy. I didn't really watch
Never
that.
watched that. Never watched Good Burger or all
Oh,
that.
Good Burger's a phenomenal movie.
Good burger. Good movie.
Welcome to Good Burger.
Home with a good burger.
That was a good movie.
Me, I take
God, you know what?
I watched like Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents, but I don't think
that was more
90s.
2000s. Yeah, those were good. I'll tell you though, I was talking to my client because he's I think he's same age as you, Austin. It's about 30, so he experienced more of it. And we were talking about all these shows a while ago, and just about how much like crackhead type shows they were. Just complete stupid shit. Dogs and cats, like
so random.
It's so random. Mr. Meaty, like all this complete stuff that you had to be like on like acid to like create this stuff, and yet like they're the best shows. They're hilarious. They're funny. They had adult references.
Ed and Eddie, was that Nickelodeon?
That was Cartoon Network.
I know a bunch of Cartoon Network.
But it's just funny how like crazy the shows are. And then nowadays you just have like, you know, I feel like just the soft
shit. Like it's like ugh.
Like they can't be like bullies in like shows now, or they never win. It's like, dude, like one of the best episodes is SpongeBob getting his butt kicked by the flounder. Flats. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna kick your butt. But anyway, next question.
Would you rather always come prematurely or never come at all?
Oh God, prematurely.
Griffin said, already do the
Yeah,
first
what
one.
have you done both?
Well, I've done both too, for sure.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, oh God, I'm coming fast every time, bro. Every time.
I'm gonna go never at all, and I'll explain why.
You're gonna have your nuts gonna be swollen up like.
Well, I don't want to think about the after effects.
Yeah.
But I'll say
wheelbarrow.
I feel better when I know that I've done a good job rather than.
Who says you can't get it back in there?
Well, then I guess you premature again. It says always.
Oh well, then I mean,
you'd be like, sorry, babe, it was just the first one. All right, back in. Oh, God damn it!
I'm having a good time.
I'm cursed. Yeah.
I guess I'd have to go never. Truth be told,
my God.
Because you still enjoy the experience, you just don't get that last 10%.
It's more of a domination.
But that 10%, that 10% is what you're chasing.
Yeah. Me and Griffin are on that ultra marathon.
I'm over here. Yeah. What are y'all doing? I've already banged out 10 times. Oh my God!
Depleted the story.
I can't believe deep in your heart.
I'm a generous person. I'm a giver.
Yeah, because then after I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm going to
I had
bed.
a sandwich.
There is that nice tired feeling.
But you could do other things to get the other party off.
Yeah, but there's it's never as like whole as what would be.
The final.
So hold on, let's talk about coming prematurely. Getting a little more into detail.
Yeah.
Is there insertion and then coming prematurely, or it's like, oh, you pulled your pants out? Oh.
Either that or as soon as you pop it in. Either way,
let's say
either way, the party has barely started.
Some people, technicality, I guess, say coming prematurely might be like with under 30 seconds or with under 60 seconds of intercourse, and you came, that's premature.
Either way, it's
you at least get your like
fast.
Okay.
Either way, it's fast.
Either way, you never live up to expectations.
Oh, hey, like I've always said, I didn't come too fast. You came too late. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Moving on. Last one. Poll the internet. Is 28 too old to date an 18-year-old? And I picked this question because I thought it was an interesting topic because I feel like,
I got something to say after the mics are off.
Yeah.
Not for myself.
Oh, jeez.
Austin's going to start talking about age of consent laws.
I've got this chick.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many dudes at Gold's Gym specifically that just prey on these girls that are 18, 19, 20, barely legal, barely out of high school, just have this baby face. And the dudes are 30, 34, 36, 40s. And I'm just like, bro, you can't find someone that's closer to your age that's attractive?
Yeah.
You have to pick the, 18-year-old? Still lives with her parents? Doesn't have a car? You have to prey on that? Are you going to go over there and have dinner with her parents?
We got to introduce and...
I would say if it was 10 years... more senior,
if it was a 38 to 28, that's a different ballgame.
That's different. I think definitely the biggest thing is just maturity level,
bro.
Because even if thinking about in high school,
4 years from
if
middle
somebody
school.
was driving and you were let's say for example, if I don't know, there used to be this girl that was in 8th grade in my class that was dating this guy that was in 10th grade that was driving. And that seemed like such a big difference because, even just 2 years, it's like middle school to high school, non-driving to driving, this and that. So I think almost like, aside from the age gap, just how much have you changed since you were 18 and in high school?
The older you
how
get,
how much more of a focus on yourself, on understanding of the world, this and that. Like, I just feel like it's a little too far away from
that. Is, but those 28 is pushing it. But reverse it. Chicks 28, dudes 18, 19.
I still think it's wrong. Like, if it was my daughter, I'm like, you don't need to be dating someone that I mean, they're taking advantage of a situation. I don't think that
both sides, even switched female, older, male, younger, and
you know what?
male.
I was actually this could go down a rabbit hole. But
let's not go too deep.
I was watching a video the other day that was
quick.
Explaining that kind of the way things are working right now with these dating apps is. Before, like, if you were in college and you were a female, you were most likely going to date people around you that are within your social status, around making the same money as you. They're around your area, they're around your age, because that's just what's on a campus. Mm-hmm. But now people have these apps, they have a lot more opportunities. And so the girl gets a couple swipes on Tinder. She either goes with the 28-year-old who has a job, a car, an apartment, or she goes with the 20-year-old that's in with some dorm roommates, doesn't have a job.
No,
it's almost like
they're going
paper.
So they're going with the older person because there's a lot more to gain from that.
Yeah.
The problem is that doesn't allow these younger men to mature, to know how to treat a woman, to know how to, establish that relationship. And so, this just makes their expectations for a woman distorted and makes their relationships more poor in quality. It doesn't allow them to grow, mature, and to become men in society.
Oh, damn.
Preach,
King.
So that's why, whether...
Go, King.
Whether
somebody say go off, King.
Yeah, go off. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I guess that'll wrap up that thing. Yeah.
The younger men should be chasing after those cougars then.
Cougars.
Learn a little something or two.
The cougars.
Yeah, get written into the will.
Hell
yeah. Yeah.
They'll treat
you
you
want
right.
that PS4, you work for it, honey.
Yeah, so that was a good show today. If you have any questions about the show or like to ask questions for the next episode, make sure you drop it down in the comments below. And let us know what you thought about this one, obviously. And maybe some of your questions for these... or some of your answers for the questions that we just dropped here, too.
Buy some shorts.
10,000, Brock, whatever. Maybe I'll drop a link in that. But anyways, follow us all on social media. Definitely me, because I ask questions every Sunday.
Yep.
But of course, follow these guys. They're on there. Griffin's on there once a week.
Yeah.
And, give him a follow. He might follow you back next week.
Yeah, check it.
And until next Monday, guys, we're out of here.